On January 8th, 1993, Hakia Turalish, the Bosnian vice premier, was assassinated at a checkpoint while on his way to negotiations under United Nations escort. In addition to the death of a statesman, this incident served to feed the hatred to which the belligerents dedicated themselves, and it seriously compromised the peace negotiations in former Yugoslavia. As a result of this event, the procedures for VIP escorts have been amended. Unlike escorts for food, materiel, or fuel convoys, VIP escort missions take on a critical character due to the nature of the persons transported. For this reason, the detailed preparation of VIP escort missions by the designated organization becomes critically important in ensuring the security of the dignitaries. As soon as a tasking order is received by an organization, it is important that the escort commander do everything within his power to obtain complete information on the new mission as soon as possible.
Bonjour, lieutenant, ça va bien? Okay. On a reçu une tâche d'escorte de dignitaires il y a quelques heures. Étant donné que ta troupe est disponible, je l'ai assignée à ta troupe. As-tu déjà copié les détails sur le tableau des tâches?
Oui, major, c'est déjà fait.
Okay. Si on se
In
déplace
fact, every
au tableau des
detail is of
tâches,
vital importance to the success of the mission, and as experience in operational theaters has demonstrated, the information that is initially received may often be incomplete to the point of jeopardizing the safety of the mission. Therefore, an apparently simple task such as the escort of a VIP may in reality reveal itself to be much more complex than the information initially received may lead one to believe.
Okay, malheureusement, comme à l'habitude, les détails qu'on a reçus concernant la tâche sont partiels. Donc, il va falloir que tu contactes l'officier de liaison responsable du secteur de Visoka.
The greater the number of facts and more accurate information are directly proportional to the success of the mission. If badly informed, the escort commander risks not only wrongly estimating the resources required, but also risks, once on the ground, to find himself in unforeseen situations which may jeopardize the safety of the mission. All information is critical. The simple fact of knowing that a leader plans to transform his departure into a media circus will allow the escort commander to foresee the need for supplementary resources at the meeting site, or to better negotiate with the VIP's organization in order to organize a more secure and discreet meeting. As soon as possible after having received the tasking order, the escort commander should make contact with the liaison officer and confirm all the details of the transport with the VIP's organization.
À 9 catéco, à 2-4 heures. À 9 catéco, chiffre 4. À vous.
In the same manner, if the planned convoy route includes the crossing of a checkpoint controlled by belligerent forces, the escort commander should obtain confirmation of the authorization to cross without inspection. This is a crucial confirmation when we know that such checkpoints are the most dangerous phases of the mission. Contrary to the transportation of rations or medical supplies, no one will suffer should a dignitary arrive at his destination one day late. What is important is that he remains alive. At any time during the mission, if the escort commander believes that he's not in control of the situation, it is his duty to report this to his superiors and/or cancel part of the mission. Once all the information is confirmed, the escort commander can foresee the personnel and material resources required for the mission. In general, the convoy organization will be based on the number of passengers to be transported. Normally, the vehicle transporting the VIP and his staff will be escorted by a minimum of 2 other vehicles, which will position themselves in front of and behind. Ideally, this convoy should be preceded by a reconnaissance vehicle and, if possible, another vehicle with the liaison officer for the sector on board.
Charlie de ce côté-ci, Delta là, le TTB va être parqué là, le plus proche possible de l'entrée. Les gars du groupe de protection, 5 gars, Vu que chef bélanger, vous
In
détaillez
addition to
deux
the
gars
vehicle
pour
crews, the escort commander must also plan for close personal protection troops for the dignitary. Before departing the vehicles, weapons and communication systems are checked.
Quand on monte dans nos véhicules, on va se préparer à partir.
The personnel tasked with the personal protection of the VIP ride in the escort vehicles in order to ensure the safety of the VIP during embossing and debussing. The rendezvous locations where VIPs will be picked up generally fall into two categories: an outside location where the VIP will be transferred from a vehicle, or some kind of building from which the VIP waits for the convoy. The two types of rendezvous locations include their own sources of danger. While an outside location is generally less controlled and requires a more careful reconnaissance, an isolated house or building in an urban area can be the target of snipers. Whether isolated or in an urban area, the transfer procedure remains the same. The armored carrier will back up as closely as possible to the door from which the VIP will exit. The escort vehicles will then adopt a formation in order to create a protective shield around the embarkation perimeter. Once in position, the convoy will adopt an all-around defense. As soon as the VIP transport vehicle is in position, the escort vehicles position themselves along its flanks. The close personal protection personnel then take up positions in order to cover all firing angles and access routes to the loading point. During a pickup at an outside location, either in a field or at a crossroads, the convoy will also adopt an all-around defense in order to provide a secure loading zone with protection against direct and indirect fire. Ideally, the convoy should arrive at the site sometime in advance in order to secure the area.
OK, le VIP s'en vient, portez attention. On va attendre que le couloir soit reculé avant d'ouvrir les portes.
As soon as the dignitary's vehicle is within the enclosure, the armored vehicle seals off the entrance. The convoy thus forms a shield covering all four sides, and the close personal protection troops seal off all the gaps. Only then can the VIP leave his vehicle. The success of the VIP pickup rests on the airtight quality of the protection afforded to the dignitary's vehicle.
Bonjour, je suis lieutenant Gagnon.
Très bien.
Je viens votre escorte aujourd'hui. Puis c'est le caporal Le Seigneur, ça va être votre protection rapprochée. Il faudrait que vos hommes me donneraient leurs armes. Je les donne à mes bodyguards.
Before entering the armored vehicle, the close personal protection troops ensure that the VIP and his entourage are not carrying any weapons. The weapons belonging to the VIP and his entourage will be kept by the close personal protection troops. In a tense situation, these weapons could quickly become a source of extreme danger, thereby endangering the lives of the soldiers in the convoy.
OK, le groupe de protection dehors. Vous devez me suivre.
Got it.
The protection group should position itself outside the building and ensure that all gaps are covered. Once the loading area is secured, the protection group signals the escort commander that he may proceed with the embossing of the dignitary and his staff. The bodyguard assigned by the escort commander takes his seat in the vehicle between the dignitary and the vehicle's combat door. From this point on, he will be responsible for opening the door. The door is closed, locked from the inside, and should only be opened in accordance with a code previously arranged with the escort commander. During the embossing of the dignitary in open territory, he must be secured as soon as possible.
Donnez-moi vos armes. Vous rentrez pas si vous ne donnez pas vos armes.
This is why the VIP must be loaded first and searched inside the armored vehicle, sheltered from possible attack.
Cigarette?
Yeah.
Faut que tu me donnes tes armes. Si tu ne donnes pas tes armes, tu ne rentres pas. Si vous ne donnez pas vos armes, vous ne rentrez pas. Vous restez ici. Vous restez ici.
Following this, the dignitary's bodyguards must agree to be disarmed if they wish to accompany their VIP. Therefore, in case of refusal or resistance, one can easily threaten to leave behind those persons who could compromise the convoy's security or, if necessary, cancel the mission at the rendezvous location.
C'est bon, prends nos positions, ça va.
During convoy movement, we react to unusual events such as mechanical damage, sniper fire or artillery, ambushes and obstacles in the same manner as for a normal convoy. However, in a dangerous situation, one must keep in mind that it is better to turn around and return the passenger to safety at the departure point rather than take unnecessary risks. On a route involving the crossing of a demarcation line, the passage from the departure sector does not usually entail any difficulties.
Oh, boarding.
The crossing of a checkpoint controlled by a faction other than that being transported involves a much greater threat. Even if the VIP being transported has received authorization to travel to hostile territory in order to participate in negotiations, the somewhat anarchic organization of belligerent groups does not necessarily guarantee the VIP's safety. The reconnaissance vehicle will singly approach the checkpoint and stop at a safe distance. Its role is to confirm the crossing authorization. As soon as this is confirmed, it will advise the escort commander, who remained with the escort group, that the route is clear.
Добър ден!
Добър ден.
Какъв си?
Конвой.
Конвой?
Convoy.
Няма проблема.
Няма problème. 2-1 ici, 2-1 Delta. Je viens de parler avec le belligérant. Il n'y a pas de problème. On peut traverser le point de contrôle à vous.
The rest of the convoy then rejoins the reconnaissance vehicle at the checkpoint in order to cross in one block. While approaching, the vehicles must close up to each other as much as possible in order to make access difficult. Should there be a change in the situation, the convoy may suddenly find the way blocked. The vehicle following the armored personnel carrier will then advance to block the combat door and prevent any access to the VIP. The escort commander must then leave his vehicle and negotiate the crossing with the belligerent forces.
UN, contrôle. No pass.
Pas de contrôle. Je suis un représentant des Nations Unies. Je sorte un VIP. Il n'y aura pas de contrôle qui va être fait sur mes véhicules.
Contrôle, UN, contrôle. West,
Pas
west,
de contrôle.
Alors, back.
Non, ça bouge pas. Ça bouge pas. Pas de contrôle.
Contrôle.
Pas de contrôle. Va appeler le commandant. Va appeler ton commandant. Pas de contrôle. On a l'accord passé
Reste,
ici.
reste.
Pas de commandant.
No matter what level of resistance is encountered, the escort commander must refuse any inspection of his passengers and must not reveal their identity. If the belligerents persist in refusing passage, the escort commander must contact his command post and request the assistance of a liaison officer to contact the faction CP and thereby attempt to have the agreements respected. In case of a total refusal, the escort commander must be prepared to turn back and return his passenger to safe territory. In the event of his being denied permission to depart and/or there's an attempt to immobilize the convoy at the checkpoint, he must contact his headquarters and follow the authorized procedures for a critical situation. At the destination, the procedure is identical to that used at the VIP's embarkation point. Once inside the belligerent camp, the escort vehicles deploy in order to protect the disembarkation area. The formation selected for the vehicles always aims to provide maximum coverage of the arcs with their heavy weapons and the coverage of any openings or gaps with close personal protection troops.
OK, sortez.
Once all is in place, the escort commander will personally authorize the opening of the combat door by giving the code or password to the bodyguard. The bodyguard will then open the door and exit first. The escort commander will then ask the dignitary to exit. As soon as the VIP exits the vehicle, he is immediately protected by the assigned bodyguard, who will remain with him until the dignitary reaches shelter. Once the passengers have been secured by the authorities at the meeting location, the escort mission is considered completed. The return of the passengers to their departure point normally involves another mission. Even though they may not be transporting anyone during the return trip, the escort commander must ensure that his immunity is respected during checkpoint crossings. Upon return to his headquarters, the escort commander must give a verbal report, followed by a written detailed after-action report. Even though he may have completed his mission without serious incident, the escort commander must report on the complete flow of his mission and underline any problems encountered, even those that appear to be minor. Once reported, all these events may become the subject of complaints and of negotiations, which may permit subsequent missions to be carried out with greater ease. By making a complete after-action report, the escort commander will facilitate future missions and may even prevent any potentially dangerous confrontations for himself and for others.